everybody. It's Christine. It is day 18. I almost got confused. 18 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Let me show you the sketch. It is by Nikki Rowland. And what we have here is obviously a big, just 12 by 12 with 3 vertical, I'm imagining, pattern papers. There's kind of this cool grid, like stamp behind the photograph. It's a horizontal photograph with a little square here. Title, there's a bunch of stars and some mixed media, and then of course some journaling here. Very cool sketch. And what I have going on here, first off, I'll show you the picture. It's me and my daddy. I honestly do not know 100% sure when this was. I'm guessing a couple years ago. I don't actually know when this was, but it doesn't really matter. The whole point of it is my daddy and me. And then what I have is I pulled out it's a May 2022 Flavors of the Month. And I think what I have here is, I think it's the Echo Park Away We Go. Yeah, because it's got the globes and stuff. And it's technically a travel themed kit. So it's a little bit strange in a sense, like it's not really on theme for just a picture of me and my daddy. We're not really anywhere specific. We're probably at his house, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to use it up because I have just a little bit left. I just have I have a navy blue cardstock background, so I'm going to use navy blue. Y'all, this cat. And then I have a stripe here, but also have some balloons. But the stripe's going to go this way. And then I have this little set of arrow stuff, which is also going to go this way. And then I honestly pulled out of my I have a jar of branding strips and types of things over there. This is actually a Vicki Boutin piece, but the color goes with this. So I'm going to use this. I think I can color this with an embellishment. And then, so it does have these things. I don't know what I just did with the other pieces. I don't know if I'm going to be using these pieces here, but we shall see. Because I have some little stickers, and I might can use, some of the arrows or something. I haven't really figured it out yet, but I might can use some, but I'm not really sure. We shall see. And then I did find this Simple Stories here, and I'm kind of liking Smile as my title. I think I'm going to use that. And let me see what else. Oh, what else? I have this old stamp here is from Club Scrap. It's really old. I don't even have any. It says 2000. Y'all, I can't see. 9. My eyeballs are not working. 2000 something. And then I also just got this die in one of my Peacecraft Love surprise boxes. And I go, oh, I can cut something out with this die. I think that's cool. So I think I'm going to try to use either one or both. I may use the die first and see how that looks. And then, if I have to fill it in or something, who knows. And then also, I didn't put this on the sketch. I'm sorry. But underneath the title says kind of this cool, I'm imagining it's a stencil with ink. So I pulled this out. It's technically not like a starburst, but I think I can use this. I'm going to try. And then I have my Whisper White craft ink. So I think that's what's going to show up on the blue. So that is what oh, and so sorry. I pulled out, y'all, I feel like I'm all over the place here, y'all. I got this star die set. So I can use this star die set. So that's what I'm starting with. Let me do a little bit of cutting, and I will come back on when I start to do the inky parts. I need to cut this first, but I don't even know what color, frankly, what color paper. I'm going to do something light because I got my dark colored ink or paper here. So anyway, let me start doing a little bit of cutting and stuff, and I'll come back on in just a minute so you can see where I'm at. All right, talk soon. Y'all, this is the second take of my voiceover because my family came and shut the door. I guess they decided I was making too much noise, but that's okay. They make too much noise most of the time. The first thing I do is go ahead and take my stencil, and I've used a little bit of washi tape to hold it where it's supposed to go, and I'm using this Whisper White here in one of I call them my magic brushes. I honestly don't remember the brand or anything, but I picked them up at a convention a couple years ago, and I thought they were amazing. Anyway, I'm using it to spread my ink around. I will have to move this stencil, though, because it looks a little blocky to me, so I'll end up kind of repositioning this now and again and going ahead and putting more ink, because you see there it looks a little bit square, and I don't want it to look square. The one on the sketch had a little bit of a starburst effect, probably because you used a bunch of stars, and I didn't really want it. I mean, obviously I don't have a star or a starburst, but I still didn't want it to look real blocky, so I have to kind of fix that. In the end, the funny part is I don't think most of this even shows after I get the picture and all the stars and stuff like that on there, but it looks cool otherwise. Okay, so I've got my stencil ink down there, so now I'm going to take my vertical pieces of my pattern paper here, and I'm going to go ahead and attach these. Now, once I get these down, I don't put the ink on let me think just a minute. I'm doing this. I'm trying to make sure that I get the edges in there. I will take my fingernail and kind of run it up the side to give it a little bit of texture on the edges. You could do that, or you could ink, or you could, doodle or something like that. But I just gave a little bit of texture with my fingernail once I get this in here. And I have to use my little needle nose deal here in a second to adjust this tiny little strip. I like how this little branding strip turned out. It was a perfect color, and honestly, it worked really well. So, yeah, here's where I'm taking my finger and I'm going along the side there. Now, that hole in that branding strip will get covered up. So, no worries. It'll get covered up. It's where the, I guess in the sketch it could have been a square picture, but I just put a little square embellishment right there. All right, so I got that, and I'm going to see where picture goes. Now, in a second, I'm going to cut over because I have to go cut all those stars, and I have to cut my little, what do you call it, hash marky thing. All right, so I've matted my photos, and I did use the papers I cut the stars out with, but I did a really skinny border, so it's not like you can see the pattern. It's more for the colors than it is anything. And then I'm looking at my little square here. This is how I'm going to cover up my little, hole over here. I do actually rotate it because I didn't want the stripes on the little square there. They were technically running horizontally, but I didn't really want that because the red and white is going up and down and everything. So I go ahead and turn that direction up and down, and then I just kind of like put the little camera selfie looking thing in the middle, but a little bit of a wonk. And I do put it on foam tape, or foam, I guess it's foam tape. Is it? No, it's not tape. It's like foam square stuff. And I put it on there so it gives a little bit of lift. It's actually not very thick, so I got that from a little craft I bought for my birthday. It was actually a little sign we hung for pictures, and it came with these little squares to put the little embellishments on there, and I thought, oh, I'm going to hang on to that. And then I cover up, this said vacation selfie, so I covered up vacation with those little arrows, and I thought that looked pretty cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the title down here. I don't set it real firmly, though, because I do need to still get these little, I don't know what that's called, grid, hash, whatever that thing is. I cut those with my die, and I'm in love with them. But I will tell you, this was a tricky wicket to get these to stick down. I used my glue pen originally. Honestly, if I had to make a recommendation, I would say either use a Xyron, or I've seen, and I used to have some, but they're like teeny little glue dots on a big old sheet of paper where you kind of sit on there and the whole thing gets glued. Because that little glue pen was definitely tricky. It was definitely tricky. I finally got it to work, but it took me a little while. That's why I kind of cut away. But I like how it looks in the end. That paper that I used, the silver, was actually from a Chamel paper pad. It was the unicorn one. I'm so sorry. I don't remember the name of it. And I've got 1,000 layouts out of it and everything. But anyway, it was kind of a silver like scales, like the mermaid one, but you can't see it once I get it cut on that die. It's real small. So I like how it looks though, because it's kind of metal looking. And so I take my stars though that I did cut out of those papers with my little nested star die there, and I'm just organizing that. I don't actually glue it at this moment because I'm gonna come back in here in a second, and I'll glue some of them flat, and I'll glue some of them with some little glue foam squares to lift up the edges, just to give them all a little bit different dimensions here and there. But I get them organized first, so I kind of know where they all go. And then I'm going to cut away when I'm gluing it down, because I just don't make y'all wait for me to glue stuff down. Then I decide, okay, she showed some splatters on hers. I'm going to try to do some with this Whisper White. I'm not going to tell you it's terribly successful. I probably should have pulled out my Mr. Huey's, but I didn't really want to do it, and I didn't really want big blotches anyway, so I try to make this work, and you can kind of see them. It's not bad, but I probably would have, if I weren't being lazy, I probably should have got up and got my Mr. Huey's and got a little bit bigger splotches, but it's okay. It looks really good. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and then I've got these words here in my little Tim Holtz small phrases, and I picked out some. My dad has an interesting sense of humor, y'all. He's got sarcasm, and he calls himself fabulous. He's just a funny guy. I love him to death, and he's got a funny little sense of humor. And I've spent the day with him, which is probably why I decided to scrapbook him. I hadn't seen him in a couple weeks because we went out of town last weekend. I typically see him on the weekends. So I went to see him today, and I spent about 6 hours visiting with him, and I guess I just was feeling like I wanted to scrapbook my daddy. So anyway, I got the couple of funny little phrases, and then this other little phrase that says, I didn't see anyone today, so I'm wearing this again tomorrow, is kind of a nod to that shirt. He has that yellow shirt, and my stepmother, I got a kick because he wore that shirt all the goddamn time, and she got so aggravated. My dad has 1,000 t-shirts, and he still wore the same shirt over and over again. I guess it was his favorite. So anyways, I had to put that little sticker on there. And now I'm going to get these little stars here. There's little stars on the sketch. So I pulled out this little Nativity. I think it's called Nativity or something. I don't know the brand, to be honest with you. But there's little stars all over it. And they're kind of in a yellowy shimmer color, opalish color. So I'm going to set those all over kind of where she had it in the sketch. I mean, not 100% perfect, but it's, kind of scattered throughout. And I like how that turns out. I actually like how this layout turned out. I was a little bit worried when I started putting them little hashtaggy deals down there, but I recovered. You know, I recovered. And that is all I'm going to do this layout, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Please, I'm going to slow it down here so you can kind of see it up close, but please make sure you check out the playlist and everybody that's playing along. Make sure you check out my Instagram at Scrapping Harden. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe. That's helping me out a lot, y'all. I'm so thankful. I really do appreciate it. And honestly, I try to reply to everyone's comments too. So if you make a comment, I will definitely reply, usually within the day. Sometimes it takes me 2, but most time I get them all. Anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.